You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If on the other hand you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, 23rd day of January 2019. So glad to have you with us. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're here for the first time, a special welcome to you. Glad to have you here. We are in our 14th year of broadcast history. Grab your day planner, pencil us in for the next decade. Fair enough? We'll meet you here every day at noon. Now, when you happen to be away from the office, away from the desk, you don't have the go-to software to work with, got you covered. Go to youtube.com/CFRN/live. We have a dual broadcast right there each and every day during the live show. And then the archives of all the previous shows, years of them, are simply at youtube.com/CFRN. Okay. Now, if you cannot see the chart I have up of the S&P 500 Emini Futures, you can go to YouTube, or if you're at your desk, go to our homepage at cfrn.net on the right hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. In about 30 seconds you'll be registered. You'll have access to the show each and every day. You'll be able to see the charts, participate in the discussion, the chat box. It's all yours. All right. Okay, now a lot has happened over the last couple of days. We had a holiday Monday. Let's just back right up to the Sunday night Globex Open. Okay, a little too far. Yeah. Okay, these were the highs put in. This was the high put in on Friday. Move that out of the way. Here we go. Friday's closing candle, just a tad off the high. The high was 2677.75, closed 3 ticks lower at 2677. Sunday night on the Globex Open. Hold on there. This little gap here. Oh, the reopen. Okay. All right, well, we won't worry about that now. This was the Sunday night Globex Open. We gapped a little bit lower on the open. Remember, we closed Friday at 2677, and then we reopened Sunday night at 2669.25. Now, I told you that gap opens to the downside have closed 100% of the time on the indices on futures. Okay. To the upside is a little bit of a different story. So we gap from here to here, which leaves some room up here. Okay, you got it. All right. Now, yesterday we had an alert to consider selling 2654 with a target at 2651. And of course the trail if possible. So we made the move down to 51. Of course, you already know that important prices and important areas are almost always tested. So price got back above the trigger, came down again to 2651. That's twice. It then dutifully got back above the trigger, and you've heard me say that the second and third trigger will often offer you less risk and more profit potential. And this is where we got into the extended move, and I'll show you just real quick what that looks like. There you go. So we had the bearish cross now back Sunday night after the Globex Open, and then we just kind of moseyed through the holiday Monday. Trigger back up to the BVC, trigger, target, back up to the BVC, trigger, and you see this time we blew right through that target at 2651, and then the next candle, remember this was one big red candle at one point in the life. It's a 30-minute candle. And then look right here. This candle tried to reach back up. Didn't quite make it. We continued down. Price stayed on the left side of the red and falling slingshot, and down here we were below the 50-yard line, so that's conducive to a short trade. Now even though this was a tip: trail if possible. I knew yesterday that some folks had just, taken the target, 2651s, 3 points on the S&P, nothing wrong with that. But then there was another 3, and then another 3 that became considerably more. For the folks who had already exited their positions, I said if you're not already short the ES, consider being long 2640. Consider being short 2640 down to 2634. That's a 6-point move. And you'll remember that 2634/35 was last week's highest weekly trading zone, which, by the way, we closed above. Now, that was trail if possible as well. And so as you can see how this is falling, until candles start to get on this back side of the CFMA1, there's really no reason to exit a perfectly good trade. But I knew some folks had gotten out of the target at 6 points. Hey, who doesn't love 6 points in the S&P? Put out one last. Consider selling 2630 down to 2620. And on that one, we had a final target at 2605. As the week progresses, you'll understand that 2605. Well, look what the market did. It pulled right back up to that 2640 area, dropped to 2627.50. So it did the 40 to 30 trip again right here. And then here was the great mystery. We had a bullish opening candle on Wall Street today, and then we had a bearish engulfing. Some will argue that's not really bearish engulfing because the body doesn't extend above. I'm not that much of a purist. I'll accept it. So a 10 a.m. reversal. All the guys in the channel and in the room know what that is. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're working on our 5th red candle in a row. Now we paused for a moment here at 2620. Looks like we might get a bounce, but not this time. Now these are last week's weekly trading zones. Partners have this week's zones. They get them in their email Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern when it's not a holiday. And so that's the state of affairs right now on the S&P 500 Emini Futures. And so to all the passport holders and all the partners, I just want to say, good job. I have a little bit of news for you. Not a lot. The John McAfee news, I think I'm just going to leave that alone. He's on the run again. What a guy. I will tell you about Nucleus Capital. They are a boutique brokerage firm based in the U.S. and reportedly set to launch a new over-the-counter OTC crypto trading desk. The venture is aiming to attract clients from the buy side of the financial services industry, including hedge funds, asset managers, family offices, and high net worth individuals. The company will also provide in-house custodial services and plans to launch an exchange in the first quarter of 2019. Joe Tuccio, head of asset management at Nucleus, says we're trying to bridge the gap between the institutional world and the retail crypto world. If we can help build a streamlined product that replicates other financial markets offerings, I feel this market will flourish and mature. The recent commitments of major institutions like Bach, ICE, Fidelity, Erics demonstrate that a formidable foundation of this new asset class is being soundly laid, which will bring confidence to traditional capital market participants to deepen the digital asset liquidity across products. And across the pond, Hong Kong-based Atom Group has announced that its upcoming AAX Digital Asset Exchange will use institutional grade technology from the London Stock Exchange Group. Now, AX is set to launch in 2019 and will be built on the London Stock Exchange Technology Millennium Exchange, which also provides technology services to, of course, the London Stock Exchange and other traditional venues. AX will enable users to trade spot and futures markets for cryptocurrencies, and it plans to eventually add a range of tokenized assets, including security tokens, asset-backed tokens, and stablecoins. Atom will also launch AX Pro, a trading platform that caters to institutional clients with low latency and co-location services. The CIO at LSEG says, "We are delighted to have been selected by Atom to provide a best-in-class technology solution to help power the new exchange. It underlines Millennium Exchange's reputation for performance, scalability, flexibility, and reliability. We look forward to working with the AX team." Now, do you see how the narrative has changed? You've got the London Stock Exchange saying that they're glad this crypto company chose them and their technology. Wasn't too many minutes ago that all of these exchanges were looking for technology, looking for partners in the quote-unquote real world. Now it's turned around. Coinbase has announced that it will now support inbound and outbound SWIFT transfers from non-US bank accounts, meaning that its Pro and Prime customers in Asia and Europe can use wire transfers to fund their accounts. A select group of Coinbase Prime customers from around the world will also now have access to the company's US and European OTC trading desk and Coinbase Custody, its New York regulated cold storage solution. In the past 12 months, hundreds of crypto-first hedge funds have launched around the world, and many hundreds more traditional institutions such as proprietary trading firms, family offices, and endowments have begun actively trading digital assets. Coinbase's suite of products, Coinbase Pro, Coinbase Prime, and Coinbase Custody, serves these customers along with other participants in the market like asset issuers, exchanges, and miners. The world is being reshaped as I speak, more and more each and every day. Now, back to the traditional markets, let's take a look here and see what condition our condition is in. Again, these are cash markets. We'll go back to the futures in a moment. Right now, the Dow is down 66 points. NASDAQ is down 61. S&P 500 is down 17. And the Russell 2000 is down 10. In the commodity basket, crude oil down 98 cents today. That's almost 2%, trading 52.03 last. Gold up $1.40, trading 12.84.80 last. In the Asian markets, the Nikkei closed the session down 29 points. Shanghai was up just over a point at the close. The Hang Seng was up almost 3 points. Small numbers mixed in Asia. Read again today in the UK. And here at home, the color of the day is red. We don't have any. The closest thing to 1% would be the NASDAQ, which is down 0.88%. So there you have it, a little bit of news. The numbers from around the world. Now the S&P, as you can see on the screen, it's inching down towards that 2608/09 weekly trading zone from last week. But again, this target that we had set at 2605. As this thing started to pull back yesterday, I did say in the channel, so what was a swing high right here? 2642. When we were looking at just this, I told the guys in the channel, consider moving their stop to 26. If you were short from 2640, adjust your hard stop, consider adjusting your hard stop to 2647. And, well, look what happened. Now, when it hit 2647.75, I said, okay, 3 ticks. But then we hit 2653.75 today. I did mention in the channel that if we took out this swing low from overnight, that would possibly be the start of a trend down day, and it looks like it is so far. Okay, with that, let's go to Michael and get a recap of what happened in the live training room. Today I'll jingle John and see if he's going to join us today, but either way, I'll be back when Michael is done.
Excellent. Okay. Let me make myself the presenter then.
Okie doke.
Here goes. There it is. Alright. So you should be seeing my screens.
That was quite the 10 a.m. reversal there, wasn't it?
It certainly was. And when the day started out today, everything was all mixed up. Like the things like gold and the euro were at opposite ends of the spectrum. Crude and the ES were at opposite ends of the spectrum, which made gold and the ES at the same end, and crude and the euro at the same end. I think I may have those a little mixed up, but the day started out all mixed up today. As far as the markets that typically run together, we're running opposite.
Gotcha.
That's how it was this morning.
Now we talk about important prices, important areas, almost always being tested, and you already have the charts.
I do.
Okay, I'll just go over it when I come back. Then I just wanted to point out that run up today, the swing high of this session was 2653.75, and our first sell yesterday alert was 2654. So it came within 2 ticks of getting back above the trigger at 2654. So anyway, let me move the chart up to the top. Okay, I'll hit mute and it's all yours.
Excellent. All right, good afternoon everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 25th day. No, the 25th day. I'm sorry, it was 125. Today is Wednesday, the 23rd day of January 2019. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page here at CFRN.net. Over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. If you click on that, you will be brought to this page, where all we ask for is your email, your first name, how you found us. Hit the submit button. Once you hit the submit button, you're going to get this message that's basically telling you to expect an email. That email is going to have a confirmation link. Okay? You must click on the confirmation link. If you don't click the confirmation link, then we do not know that you took the free trial. So you got to make sure you click that link. Okay? Okay. Now, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, as I said, is the 23rd day of 2019, of January 2019. It is also the 23rd day of 2019. Today we lost 8 ticks in crude. We made 12 ticks on the gold, and we made 5 ticks on the ES. That put us at plus 102.50. Today took 74 minutes and 5 trades to get to the goal for the day, plus 102.50, and we took a total of 5 trade opportunities. So on the month now, we're at 1763. That's over 15 days, averaging 117 per contract per 2-hour day. Okay, that's 117 per contract per 2-hour day. Now, let's take a look at what happened this morning. Things started out really slow, really slow. Gold started out right here and was stuffed in a range, came down, put in a double bottom here, and was stuffed in a range until it got over here. It broke up above a little bit. We had higher highs and higher lows. Had a bounce off the BBC right here that I missed. And then we had a momentum long trade right here that I picked up 12 ticks on. It was followed by another momentum long trade right here that I missed. And, excuse me. And then it pulled back, but it pulled the cycle down with it. So there were no more long trades right through here. Okay. It looks like it's possible there could have been one right here that pulled back and eventually ended up going up. And another one right here would have been a momentum long trade. But it's really choppy in here right now. So we picked up the 12 ticks on that one trade there. Okay. Now on the euro, doesn't look like we did anything with the euro today. I'm going to scroll back and take a look. See, it looks like this would have been a momentum long going into dynamic resistance that wasn't broken. Same thing there. Then finally we get over here, but the cycle's going down too steep to go long. Then we just got really choppy through this period right in here. The slingshot was not letting us take any trades through here. And then we get into the break, and it's just sideways at the high of the day right now. We have bearish separation down here, but we're coming off the high of the day, trading above the BBC. So we really didn't have any opportunity there today on the euro. On the crude oil, look at this huge rundown right here. Let's go back to the beginning. Here we are. We started out on crude with 2 break-evens. And missed along. I didn't put in wherever it is that I stopped out, because I stopped out on crude today. And wherever that was, it doesn't look like I marked it, but we did in fact stop out. I don't see where I would have stopped out yet. But I know I did. Anyway, we get into the break here. I did stop out on crude. I was -8 on crude today. But, and I took 3 trades. So I had those 2 break evens. I missed both of those longs right there. It must have been right in here. Probably. I don't know. I can go look at my report later and figure it out. But I definitely did stop out on crude. Yeah, we missed a short here. That looks like it would have probably been a break even for me. Maybe a little bit of profit. We missed a long there that would have been a nice long, and another long right here. I know I went to get a drink of water when this happened. Speaking of that, where's my drink of water? There it is. Okay. Anyway, during the break, the slingshot wasn't letting you do any trading right through here. Okay, it wasn't until way over here that if you considered this a trend, you would have gone long right here for that leg up. And possibly a momentum long right here, which would have gone nowhere. And that was it on the crude today. That was it on the crude. On the ES, Dwayne was mentioning about the reversal this morning. 10 a.m. reversal right in here. You see it started out down here, went up to the weekly trading zone, got through the zone, put in a new high on the day, then just came crashing down, crashing. And we missed shorts in there and in there. We grabbed 5 ticks from this one right here. This is where we got our goal for the day. Okay, and then the cycle was not allowing us to short anymore. It did actually give a long right over here for that leg up. Then it gave a short right here that I missed right at the end of the session. And then during the break, well, it had some shorting opportunities through here right there. That would not have been one because we had to break it then right there. The cycle's going up too steep now. And then it changed directions again, and you would have had a long from right here for that leg up, another long from right here for that leg up, and one more from over here for the current leg up. And that was the ES today. So overall, we were -8 on crude, +12 on gold, and +5 on the ES. Okay, I'll bring this back up, and we can go over that. Again, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, as I said, is the 23rd day of January, 2019. We lost 8 ticks on crude, made 12 ticks on gold, and 5 ticks on the ES, putting us at +102.50. Today it took 74 minutes and 5 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're at 102.50, and we took a total of 5 trades. On the month now, we're at 1763. It's over 15 days, averaging 117 per day. It's the same thing on the year, and that's one contract, 2 hours per day. One contract, 2 hours per day. Let me put the question box up. No questions, okay. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page at CFRN.net. Right over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial, apply.CFRN.net. If you click on that, you'll be brought to this page where all we ask for is your email, your first name, how you found us. Hit the submit button. You're going to get a message that says this. And basically, it's saying that you're going to get a confirmation link. You're going to get an email with a confirmation link in it. Once you click on that link, then we know you took the free trial. So click that link, take the free trial, and then we'll send you all the information that you need to get into the live training room in the morning. Okay? Okay. That's it. With that, we can pass it back out to Studio A, fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, South Mountain, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park.
Okay, recap of the recap.
Today it took 74 minutes and 5 trades to get to 102.50
Per contract.
74 minutes and 5 trades. That's right, one contract, 74 minutes.
Good job.
It's because on my 3rd trade I stopped out on crude, and I didn't mark it on the chart, but I did actually stop out. I can't see where I stopped out exactly, or why I stopped out, but I know I did.
Okay, now the picture here on this chart has changed a little since we were talking a few minutes ago before the recap. We had a red candle here, but it closed, a 30-minute candle closed green. Now we've opened here. Now, should we get excited? Is this turning around? Is it going higher? Well, I'm not going to go that far. What I will do is I'll grab this, and I'll do that. And we're at the 24% reverse fib retracement. There's the 38, and there's the 50. So I think that 38 could be a good spot. Now, we won't do anything until it gets there and starts the next leg down. That's when we take action. With us, you'll never sell a high or buy a low. We wait for a move to be underway, and then we just want to take a bite out of the middle.
That's right, take a chunk out of the middle.
Take a chunk. All right, now what I was starting to talk about after I had passed the charts to Michael is that right here, price pulled all the way back up to 26.53.75. 2 more ticks and it would have put it back above this trigger, but it didn't quite make it, so no cigar. And then right here on this run up, we got to 26.42, which effectively put us above the trigger, 26.42. And so it did the trip again. It made a run down to, well, that target was 26.34, and it put in a swing low at 33. Now this move yesterday from 30, we were looking for it to go to 20 and then to 26.05. So we got the first target, not the final target. Now this thing in the 30 minutes between the live training room today and the show, we got this candle here. It was moving. It had some momentum behind it. Obviously the market has found some buyers here. They've stepped in, bid it up, but how far can they take it? Our daily chart now looks like this. We've got this trend line overhead on the daily. We had a leg and a retracement and a head fake, a leg and a retracement, another head fake, a leg, a retracement. Now this would look to be more than a head fake, except we got this trend line overhead and there's some other dynamics at work. So really the question on the daily becomes, is this going to hold? Now you see this low here, here, here. If we make it through the BBC on the daily, then there's a potential for support here. Right there. If that gets taken out, let's look at the weekly. Had a bullish cross, blue and climbing. We went from that bullish cross 27.36 up to 29.45. Then a bearish cross. Now remember, this is weekly. Each candle represents 1 week. Bearish cross, price pulled away, price pulled back, down close. Sell this candle, and it took you all the way down to 23.20. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 green candles in a row. We talked about this a lot last week. If it makes it all the way up to the BBC, will it hold? Well, so far, which to me says that there's a move on tap from about 25.80, 25.75, 25.80 down to 25.40, unless we tarry and go sideways, and then that will come higher. Now this should be good support, but we don't know that it will be until we get there. This dynamic is important on a weekly to be red and below that 50-yard line. Kind of a big deal. Last, the monthly. If we closed just like this, that would be a bullish harami, telling us that we potentially go higher. But the month's not over yet. We still have a few more trading days. So now this dynamic here on the monthly, when's the last time the monthly cycle crossed the 50-yard line? My data doesn't go back that far. I mean, this is March of 14 right there, 2014. Almost 5 years. And now we're doing it. Now we're doing it. What comes next, time will tell. Do you see John, Michael?
Yeah, I was just texting you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
sure.
He's here. Want me to open up his mic?
Please.
Okay. And I'm going to jump off because I got the Tuesday meeting that I'm doing today.
Okay.
Other than yesterday.
Did you give everybody? Does everybody have the link?
I'm going to put it in right now.
Okay.
Right now. So, can somebody type something in? Just type anything in because there are no questions in right now.
Hey,
and
John. Welcome to the show.
Hi there.
There you go.
kind of crazy, you know, the way the market had opened this morning and ran up. Oh, by the way, remember we were talking yesterday and we said that there's something weighing on the market, but we couldn't put our finger on it, right?
Right.
Remember that? Well, as it turned out that there was some kind of a report came out to say that the preliminary trade talks with China had been canceled, right?
Right.
And also they were going on about this executive who's been arrested, saying it would be bad if she was extradited or whatever they were going to do with her.
Right.
So that didn't go. That probably weighed on the market too. And then late in the day, Kudlow came on to CNBC. Just 1 second.
All right.
Okay, I pasted the link out there for everyone.
Okay,
That
guys,
meeting
if
is
you're
1:15.
if you're on the trial or if you're new as a partner, really good idea to check in with Michael. I mean, you can watch the video later, but it's better when you can be there live in real time to ask questions.
Yes, questions are what make it interesting. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So so Kudlow came on, and I just took the initiative of putting in a buy stop just in case, and we kind of that was basically the bottom. And right after that there was a very fast rally, and then dropped back down a bit, not too much, you know, about 50% of the first rally, and then there was a very sharp trade into the close, you know, very sharp rally. And then in the night it started going up, and so we had a, you know, I just figured the market was going to go up last night, so we stayed with it all night, and we actually got out at the highs this morning. And you know, initially I thought it was just going to be a pullback, so we kind of waited for a correction and then put in a shot at it. But I did say, you know, if it broke, to sell new lows, so which it did, and you know, it dropped like a stone, which was, you know, I don't know, it's kind of a weird market to do that after being up so strong. You know, we haven't had something like this happen for quite a while. You know, to go from, you know, up a couple of hundred down to negative, it's not very good action.
Right.
But I don't think it's particularly terminal. It might be giving people who didn't get long yesterday another chance to get in. You know, your famous phrase about important prices tend to get retested.
Oh yeah, I mean, look up here, John, where our first alert to sell yesterday was at 26.54, and look where price came back to. It was within one tick of getting back to that trigger.
Yeah. So this actually may turn out to be, you know, a better, you know, another good entry point. Although it's a little risky here, because obviously the downdraft this morning was pretty severe.
Remember yesterday when I told you I had a downside target at 26.05, and you said, "Wow, that's a long ways down."
Yeah, right.
Well, we made it. We got down to 26.12 and a half, and I don't think we're done. I don't think we're done. I think we're going to pull back.
Well, given the way we're acting, I would agree with you. But right now we're starting to go back up. And listen, we did almost nail the exact bottom today, right down there at the lows. I just took a shot at it, and I'm happy to see that it's going higher. But it could go, you know, it could go all the way back up. But kind of, you know, we're in a very strong seasonal time right now. The 23rd of January is usually a very strong day, as it was this morning when we came in, and could extend over the next few days and potentially into the end of the month. You know, there's a lot of things that could happen here. There might be a breakthrough in this standoff with the shutdown, and possibly the State of the Union as well. So that would be, by the way, selling the VIXs as well.
What is the state of the State of the Union right now? Is it happening? Not happening?
They're planning for it, but it might be in a different location, I think, is the answer.
Okay.
So the other good thing that happened this morning is the gold and silver shot up from their lows when the market tanked, and The platinum, in particularly, made a pretty good reversal today. You know, we've been right down here to the brink a few times on the platinum, and it's bounced quite well this morning. I'm pretty impressed with the action in the metals today, to be honest with you. And I would say, you know what, the platinum might be ready for a very significant up move from here. This looks like we had a little bit of a breakout off this base, came back in a kind of a three-wave pullback, and now we could be poised for, there might be a little bit more testing down to about 780, possibly, or even a possible new low, but somewhere in around here, we could just take off, and that may be it for the platinum. So, and it feels, you know, the gold has given up very little ground, literally no more than about $15, $20 off the highs. It's been hanging in very strongly. The silver pulled back a little bit more, but you know, the silver could easily make that ground up in a few days, in a couple of days. So it feels to me like we might see a metals rally into the end of the month, and if we do, it could extend into February and March quite strongly. So that's kind of my take on the metals. Also, the grains, after looking very forlorn and you know, doubtful, pretty negative, frankly, they came to life on the prospects of a deal with China, and they're not out of the woods by any means, but they're definitely in better shape for a possible upside breakout, which would be supportive towards the metals. The coffee, which has been hanging around the 100 level for a while, you know, remember we had that extreme low, we got down to 90 before. It's starting to feel like the coffee might be ready to go higher. And lumber actually has been probing higher highs too. It's come, remember, we got down to the low 300s, and it's up in the mid to high 300s now, looking a lot better, possibly for, you know, forewarning of a bit of a bounce in the real estate market.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you know, that's surprising with the negative numbers we got on the housing.
Yeah, well, you know, the lumber kind of leads, if you think about it, the lumber top last year kind of forewarned of a real estate downturn, because remember, we were making new all-time highs. And just one sec.
Go ahead. Okay, so the Dow found support right across here. And I believe that was the highest weekly trading zone last week for the Dow. It was 400/405.
Yeah, so that's actually a pretty good looking bottom on the Dow there. And you know, there's a few Dow components today that are doing better than yesterday. IBM came out with some good numbers, and actually IBM is sort of one of these dogs of the Dow. You know, it did badly last year, so it seems to be starting this year off pretty strongly. And if you look at the weekly and monthly, you could see IBM possibly. I don't think anybody else is talking this way, but it wouldn't be. You know, you could see IBM hit new all-time highs in the next year or two, based on where it is right now and the way it's coming off this bottom. Sure, Warren Buffett would be pleased to hear that. And it's made a pretty significant bottom down near 100, 106 or so, and I think it's about 135 or so right now, something like that, which is a good ways off the bottom from this last sell-off. 131, got up to 135 this morning. It's definitely put in a pretty considerable bottom, and if you look at the overall structure going back to the history of the chart, going back to 1996, I don't have data beyond that for some reason, but it actually looks pretty constructive for at least for a run back up into the 150, 160, maybe 170. And you know, stranger things have happened. I mean, you saw how Microsoft came back to being one of the biggest companies in the world, and you know, Microsoft is probably the best bet in a lot of ways for new all-time highs, given the structure of the stock right now. You know, look, its all-time high is 116. It's at 106 right now. It's only $10 off the high. It's not that big of a deal, really. And Microsoft's kind of going from strength to strength. And the reason the IBM kind of piqued my interest today is because, you know, Intel, which has been has been probably the worst performer of the three. In other words, the old guard, IBM, Microsoft, Intel, because remember they were the sort of vanguard of the computer age. It's not, you know, I think those three could be a trifecta for this year and going into 2020. You know, you can't count. I know Intel's, you know, and Intel, you know, the technology these days is with the i9 series, and who knows what's coming next. But the other thing is,
has the price come down on that chip yet, the i9?
You know what, I'm going to check in the next few days. Probably hasn't, but I think it's probably getting close to a time when they will start lowering these prices. And
Newegg has it for $929.
Oh, but that's not the top one, right?
That's the i9.
Yeah, I think that, but the i980, I think it is about $2,000 the last time I looked.
Oh yeah, I see. Okay, there's different i7s. Okay, that one is, wow. PC Nation has it for $2,000.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it hasn't come down. And you know, I think that the whole world hasn't woken up at all yet to what the 5G is going to bring to the world when it comes. I mean, the 5G is going to it's going to look, imagine, you know, 100 times faster than your current phone, your current mobile phone. 100 times.
That's sort of hard to even fathom, right?
I know, and it's going to be amazing when it happens, because everybody's going to want to upgrade to 5G. They're going to do everything they can. They'll be bringing out a new generation of iPhones. It's going to be very bullish for Apple, obviously, and the whole sector. You know, it's going to be a huge boost to the tech sector, and it's going to transform a lot of these. Evolving stages right now, like Netflix and all these streaming companies. I mean, can you imagine the streaming at these kinds of speeds in the future? And it's really going to give everybody the opportunity to kind of, as there already is out there with YouTube, you know, having their own kind of TV show kind of thing. It's just going to make that a whole lot easier, and it's going to bring, you know, these FaceTime type things, you know, video communication to the, you know, over audio much more to the forefront. And WhatsApp and all these things we were talking about yesterday are also going to be enhanced through this medium. So I think it's going to be it's just going to be a gigantic, it's going to be a quantum leap above everything we've ever imagined. It's almost, I mean, somebody compared it to, it's kind of like the coming of the internet. You know, that was obviously a huge transformational thing in the world. It's beyond Internet 2.0. It's probably Internet 3.0, and some people are saying it's like reinventing the printing press. You know, it's like the invention of the printing press. It's going to have that much impact on the world.
You know, that reminds me that show I was telling you about on National Geographic, the one called Valley of the Boom. It's a 6-part miniseries. Sunday night, they put out another 2 episodes. So this coming Sunday night, the final 2 will air. And I got to tell you, this thing was really, really well done, in my opinion. Some of the things that maybe we heard about that were going on in the early days of the tech boom and the internet boom, it's just good. It's enjoyable. It's not a pure documentary. They kind of mixed it up between documentary and just like a regular TV show. You'll get 5 minutes in, you'll go, oh, this is interesting, because we all lived through that, but yet we didn't really know what was going on. Echo that we were talking the other day on that show, the Today Show or whatever it's called, where that guy goes, or the lady goes, what is the internet? You know, that's a real thing. It really did happen. Do you remember a company called Pixelon?
Heard of it.
Michael Fain, which wasn't his real name, he was a fugitive from West Virginia. He went to California, and he was a pitch man, a huckster, whatever you want to call him. He's quite a character. He had he launched this company. He had a company, Pixelon, and it was supposed to do streaming video. And what he had done is he had just hijacked Microsoft's media player. So he really had no technology, but he raised, I forget, $30 million, and he spent 16 of it having it was called iBash. It was the biggest launch, parties were, let me just see if I can, iBash, see if that comes up. Yeah, okay. He spent $16 million of investor money. Michael Fain, a founder and former chairman of Pixelon, presided over the most extravagant net startup bash in the short, self-indulgent history of decadent.com shindigs. From the Las Vegas event, Fain rented out the MGM Grand, hired a slew of top-drawer artists including Kiss, the Dixie Chicks, Sugar Ray, Brian Setzer, and The Who even did a reunion. And most of them didn't want to get paid. They just wanted shares in this company that had no technology. The guy's real name was David Stanley. But see, I wasn't even aware of Pixelon or Michael Fain. And I learned this from watching that show, Valley of the Boom. So anyway, if you get a chance, check it out.
Yep. Okie doke. Well, listen, thanks for the invite, Dwayne. I think we covered everything.
All right, John.
The one thing is the metals are definitely looking. The dollar. The dollar is the other thing that it's been hanging around for a few days and it finally broke down today. That I would consider to be a pretty good sign. So.
Well, Crude just put in a new low.
Yeah.
All right, John. Have a great
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye. Okay, so the Dow. Getting that bounce, pushing through this area here that could have been good resistance, but this candle hasn't closed. Yep, it just did. And we have a new candle, so we closed back above that. Now that zone was last week was 400/405. So I would be cautious on the long side. Same thing I said yesterday. Now this is a zone from last week for the Russell support. It blew through support, got to the zone below, and when we get a slice, we anticipate price pulling back and then continuing in the direction of the slice. So we'll see if that comes to pass. And after, now with candlesticks, you also have to consider context. This big move down from 67.25 to 66.05, and then to get this doji, that's quite bullish. Unfortunately, we know that we've got a zone overhead from last week. We've got this bearish cross to deal with, and price is struggling right now at just the step line. So I'm not convinced that we're done to the downside. Not at all. Last week, we talked about dreams, and we talked about Joseph and his dreams. This week, we're talking about dream killers. Yesterday, we talked about discouragement. Today, our second dream killer is disappointment. Romans 4:18 says, against all hope, Abraham, in hope, believed, and so became the father of many nations. Disappointment is the gap that exists between expectation and reality, and no doubt you've encountered that gap at some point in your life. You've had to live with unfulfilled desires or had your hopes dashed, and that can damage you. Mark Twain said, we should be careful to get out of an experience only the wisdom that's in it and stop there, lest we be like the cat that sits down on a hot stove lid. Now, there's a graphic for you. That cat will certainly never sit down on another hot stove lid again, right? And that's a good thing. But that cat will also never sit down on a cold one either. When something goes wrong, we say, I'll never do that again. What a mistake, especially when it comes to your dreams. Experiencing failure is the price you must pay to achieve success. Sometimes you must face it and overcome it repeatedly just in order to be able to move forward and continue to pursue your God-given dream. Abraham was called to birth a nation, but before he fathered Isaac, he grew impatient and fathered Ishmael, and created a bad situation he had to live with all his life. But he never stopped believing in his God-given dream. The Bible says in Romans 4:20 and 21, he did not waver through unbelief regarding the promise of God, but was strengthened in his faith and gave glory to God, being fully persuaded that God had the power to do what he promised. Now, note the words in that scripture, was strengthened by his faith. You and I must make a conscious effort, a conscious decision to strengthen our faith each and every day. Now, we can do that by reading God's Word, by praying, by recalling God's goodness and reminding ourselves that nothing is too hard for God. Jeremiah 32:17. And that's our good word for the day. On the S&P, I had mentioned earlier when I drew this in that this 38% retracement looked like a possibility because support there, resistance here. Not unusual. That's how markets work. Okay, that's going to do it for this Wednesday, 23rd day of January 2019. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with his mercy and with his grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.